Okay, so there was Wim was coordinating one of the group, but he had to leave. So he sent us his notes. The key message seems to be that because he was addressing the question of recognition of one else as a field in itself. It is not always, I don't know exactly the question he had to address, but it is about recognition, let's say acknowledgement, recognition. And what seems to have been taken from the discussion is that there is an issue about having this really not interdisciplinary, not multidisciplinary, but transdisciplinary approach, which is not only words. It means that it becomes a field in itself. It is not just having epidemiologists and public health and ecologists working together. It is really having people working with the One Health as a academics, the field of reference, and building this. And then it is also building a new culture of One Health and having the recognition of One Health as a real research field in itself. I'm sorry, maybe there are many, many other things, but it's not easy to go through his notes like that. But it seems to be one of the key message. And also, apparently, the discussion were also about avoiding, false message about One Health. It implies also to have a consensus for the people involved in One Health research about what is One Health, and to have a common definition, to share a common definition of what is One Health. But maybe there are in the audience some people that were in that group, and I would like to.
Yeah, sure. Thanks to both. And just a couple of things to add. We had some discussions also about the professional cultures and as maybe a factor in developing this interdisciplinarity and transdisciplinarity. For instance, then the sometimes strong productivity in the human health area, particularly because of understandable reasons of trying to maintain the authority on those life and death decisions and sort of not letting others in to mess with the medicine, so to say. So that is, I think, an important factor in building those bridges to be sensitive to that and try to come on ways then to overcome that. Building trust, so to say, between them and other professions, because partly that's, of course, justifiable reasons for just wanting to keep on with their trade. So the other point was just want to mention that we had a lively discussion also, which is not directly related to intersectoriality in terms of the public sphere, but the interaction with branches of industry, maybe also as part of the type of transdisciplinarity, which includes then the science-society relations, sorry, more extensively. So, and because there's a lot of challenges and tensions there between the different interests of those, I mean, say in the public-private partnerships, for instance.
Thank you very much. Quick comment?
Yeah, there is a question.
Sorry. This is the corner where I have to be.
I have actually a question or a remark about making it a field of research. I always have problems with creating fields because we're talking about the approach, and to me this is exactly Yes, so we're going to create a new field, and I think it's just a new description of realities. All the people involved should have this idea that there is a link between the different fields. So yeah, this is my question: is this going in the right direction if we're saying we're going to create yet another new field?
So your point is more a concept that we need to put into practice.
every medical doctor should have that in his curriculum, and every child in school should know that his is connected to the health of the nature around him, the animals. I mean, it's not just a scientific whatever field that some people want to specialize in this interlinkage. Yes, there can also be fundings for research specifically on this thematic, but it's just we have to describe the world as it is, and it's just a new vision of the world where we're taking a more global, integrated, holistic approach or whatever. It's not a new field, it's a new way of seeing everything, the links between things.
Okay, thank you. Any comments there?
Yeah, I would just want to react to that, is that in fact a new field of research doesn't mean a new disciplines. So it's I think two things different. You can have a field of research, but it doesn't mean that we are making it like a strong discipline, like at the same level as anthropology or medical doctor. So, and
I have a big problem with the fact that yesterday, when a very simple question was asked, which is, what is One Health and how much is going to cost and whatever, that you can't give a simple answer. I was always told you cannot explain to your kids what job you're doing in 5 minutes. It means you don't know what you're doing. So I think it's like the basic is to be able to define what is One Health. Not that in every situation the parameters will be different, the culture will be different, and if you have a project or a program or whatever, of course it's going to be depending on the context, which is going to be different, but we need a basic definition, a very simple definition for everybody, my 5-year-old kid and my whatever minister, to understand what we're talking about and why it is important. And then, yes, specific examples, that's something else, and that is always specific. So yes, there is this general idea that has to be clear in everybody's mind, and then there is the practical part, which is...
I think, unfortunately, we don't. Time is really running, and we have other presentations after. But personally, I don't agree at all with that vision. I think One Health is some. I can explain to my 7-year-old in 3 minutes what is One Health from my understanding, and within the community of practice of One Health I belong to. But maybe it's not the same as yours, or it is maybe one particularity of One Health. It is like a movement, and it is. There is a flexibility that is one of the strengths of this movement, from my understanding. But
Clearly there's still room for discussion even after our discussion, so that's good in a sense. There's a future for the dialogue. You also had your own session to present.
In 1 minute, there will be a report for more details, but the question was how to promote excellence when we are researchers involved in One Health. Because interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary topics are difficult to publish in a high-level impact factors journals. There is a question again of recognition, etc. There was a lot of discussion. I don't have time to present everything, but the key message will be maybe to when you commit in One Health, maybe you should also focus rather on the social impact of your research and not only on traditional classical academics excellence only. There is also really a responsibility as researcher when you are involved in such field of research to focus on assessing the social impact, the impact on policies, and it is maybe a switch in posture for the researchers involved in One Health. Not complaining that they cannot publish in Science and Nature every month, but maybe defining their work with other criteria of excellence, of excellency. And there are other things, but I'm sorry, we don't have time to share it now, so I will give the floor to Séverine.
Okay, my station was about developing soft skills. So when we want to teach One Health, or at least interdisciplinary or collaborative work, what kind of skills do we need in addition of content-wise and learn more about risk, epidemiology, etc. What kind of skills do we need to work together? So we mentioned a lot of things, but as an attitude, I think empathy was the main mentioned attitude to have. And in fact, well, it's more about, in education, we talk about OneHealth competencies, and this includes skills, attitudes, and knowledge. Just so we mix a bit everything. But I will. So no, we don't have time. But we had some remarks that I want to share. That skills that we all discuss, etc., was not, according to the different groups, only related to OneHealth or but for any type of collaborative work, because it's easy to say, allez, we need to work together, but how to work together? Sometimes we need to learn additional abilities and skills. They also mentioned that in that kind of teaching, action is really important, not about only soft skills, but we need to go in the field and challenge these new capacities in order to really take up, learn more about it. That it must be more that we talk about what to teach to the students, but what about teaching skills? So it was also mentioned that it was important also to work on that and be more creative, especially in this kind of interdisciplinary collaboration. We also need to change of paradigms and not focus only about disease-oriented when we are teaching, but more about health and well-being. So that's something that was also mentioned. And also that these soft skills should be trained before we are already working and involved in our research. Although it's, it was mentioned to be a bit too late to change our mindsets. And so about really practical course, we mentioned team management, psychological skills, listening abilities, communication skills was a lot mentioned, about the jargon of our different disciplines, but also the interpersonal communication, negotiation, and then what was for me very interesting is that we need also a big course on epistemology. What is because for everybody, knowledge and management of knowledge is really important. What are the values behind that? And if we know what are the values of everybody, we can maybe easily work together. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Applause, yeah, it's okay.